So apparently AH's sister once dropped a bombshell on an employer saying that she feared for Johnny Depp. Why? Because her sister, AH. Now that's fascinating. So hey there. So before beginning, this is our comic book. Link is in the description, and hopefully you'll help us spread the word and check that out. Why? We're the bad guys for telling the truth, but that's okay. We don't need them. We need you, and thank you in advance. Currently, we are awaiting a decision in the Johnny Depp versus the Sun libel trial, and while we are, information, it just keeps on rolling out. Take this article that's coming out from the Mirror, for example, surprising me for a number of reasons. Number one, it's not friendly to AH. And number two, well, look at the content here. AH's sister thought she, talking about AH, quote, was going to kill Johnny Depp, claims witness. Whoa, she was going to do what again? Yeah. Now, what's really fascinating in this is the use of descriptors that you see here. Exclusive. A former employer of AH's sister claims AH was, quote unquote, extremely violent and also abusive towards Johnny Depp. Now, I find that fascinating considering I remember when AH's sister took the stand, and I remember what she said about AH. Something she didn't say was, well, she, quote, was using or involving physical force intended to hurt, damage, or kill someone or something. Nor did she describe AH as, quote, extremely offensive or insulting, engaging in or characterized by habitual violence and cruelty, involving injustice or illegality. Now, when she was pointing the finger on the stand, she had other things to say, and all of those things she said, they pointed directly at Johnny Depp. Quote, AH's sister has confirmed that Johnny Depp allegedly tried to push her down the stairs as she tried to separate him from his ex-wife. Quote, he really took it out on AH. I was standing next to her when he grabbed her by the hair with one hand and hit her in the head, she declared before going back into detail on the episode. When he got to the top of the stairs, he pulled me back so he could grab AH, she said. I remember being scared because I was afraid of falling backward and falling down the stairs. Johnny reached out to push me out of the way to pounce on AH and instead hit me, hitting me on the arm. AH suddenly jumped up and hit him and said, "Don't hit my sister." I didn't see exactly how AH hit him, but it didn't feel particularly hard. It was just enough to stop him. She was just trying to protect me, and I think it was probably kept me from being pushed down the stairs. Now, apparently, an ex-employer, they heard about this stuff, and they said, yeah, that's not what I heard. And they decided that they would contradict this evidence given in the high court, Johnny Depp's libel trial against the Sun, because they felt that that was wrong. So Jennifer Howard, they stepped forward and said that AH's sister had told her that AH was, quote unquote, extremely violent and couldn't understand why Depp, quote, was putting up with AH's, what's that word again? Abuse. So check this statement here out. Whitney testified about an incident in 2015. So that's going to be our staircase incident. Whitney said she had to go live with her employer. That's true. She said that. She was kicked out because of said incident where she had to sleep on the floor. I am that employer. This is not what I was told to be true. Whitney came to live in the guest room, not on my floor. See that? That would actually mark a lie there. Whitney told me she tried to stop AH from attacking Johnny. Whitney said when she tried to intervene, AH nearly pushed Whitney down the stairs. She told me she was worried AH, quote, was going to kill Johnny. Now, as expected, AH's sister came out and talked about this, and of course denied everything. Quote, this is complete fiction. Jennifer Howe's statement does not bear any relationship to the truth, and I have no idea why she is saying this. Now, just for the sake of doing so, let's pretend that maybe, just maybe, AH is responsible for the staircase incident. Let's look at her words for it, and let's imagine this shaped another way. Quote, Staircase incident, March 2015. This is from the first witness statement from A.H. Soon after Johnny's return to L.A., we got into a big argument one night because I found messages that showed he was cheating on me. I knew that he had cheated on me before, but I did not think he would carry on after we were married. I confronted him about that, and he reacted badly. He started smashing things up all around the apartment, including possessions of mine in the closet. I went to the penthouse next day where my sister, Whitney, was staying and told her what had happened, and she came to the apartment where Johnny and his team were. I remember being very upset and crying. I also remember Johnny and I were shouting at each other, and at some point he started hitting me. Everything happened very quickly. I recall Whitney standing between Johnny and I when he was trying to attack me on the mezzanine level. He pushed Whitney out of the way so he could reach me. She had reached back to the stairs, and I remember being really scared that she was going to fall down the stairs. I lunged at Johnny to stop him from hurting my sister and struck him to protect her. It was an instinctive reaction to protect my sister. Johnny grabbed me by the hair with one hand and hit me repeatedly in the head with the other. His security stepped in and separated us. Whitney stayed with me the night after the incident. Despite what Johnny had alleged, I did not throw anything at him. As for quote-unquote berating him in a rage, I would not put it like that. But it is true, I was very angry and upset about him having an affair. I did strike him on the stairs. I can't remember exactly how I struck him. All I really know is that I wanted to protect Whitney. I would say that I held my own this time. I remember connecting with him physically, even if it was not much of a blow. It was a point of pride. It sounds sick, but I had accepted back then it was a physical relationship. I had to know what my place in it was, and I didn't sign myself up to be a victim. I was almost bragging about it, that I got a lick in. As messed up as that was, at least I got a lick in. Now, from that, there were loads of pictures. I'll show you those in just a second. But one picture, it stands in my mind. Johnny Depp, he had a cast on his arm. That cast, it had little dinosaur designs. That's right. All of this stuff he supposedly did, he was doing with an arm cast on. See, when you start thinking about some of these details, quote, Johnny grabbed me by the hair with one hand and he hit me repeatedly in the head with the other, that makes you think maybe, just maybe, this isn't true, and maybe, just maybe, he isn't the aggressor in this situation. I mean, I'm trying to visualize how exactly you would perform something like this, how you would secure somebody with an arm cast on, and it just doesn't work out. But for someone else to try to secure you that way, oh yeah, I could see that working out that way. Now, when we get down to the quote-unquote photographic evidence, I want you to think of it the same way. I want you to think there's an able-bodied person in this, and I want you to think that the other person, they have one arm tied behind their proverbial back. You have Kevin Murphy here. He's being texted by Josh Drew. Josh Drew starts out by saying, "Good morning, sir. So, Johnny destroyed AH's closet." Now, he didn't see any of that play out, but still, that's not going to come up. And there's some other damage to PH5. You're the lucky person I should talk to about that, correct? I suppose so, Kevin Murphy says. I'm up. Insanity. Just bleeping insanity, says the guy that has been freeloading off of someone and will continue to do so while stabbing them in the back for another freaking year plus. So here are the steps in question. Now, if you think about these steps as the place where all of that stuff supposedly transpires, seems like a quite narrow confine for all of that aggression to take place. Even if it does, I want you to imagine pushing someone over these stairs. Seems like that wouldn't be the easiest thing to do. Even if you could manage that, though, throwing them over Hollywood style, how exactly are you dragging this around while dragging your arm around in tow? Again, makes it a little bit more difficult when you start thinking in that way. Now this, I suppose you could do with a cast on. You'd be able to knock over shelves and on. Again, not the easiest thing for some of these angles, but I guess if you were mad enough, you could do that as well. Now, looking at the clothing racks, some of these, they're not just moved. They've been picked up, they've been thrown, they've been tossed around and on. Again, imagine trying to do this while having a cast on your arm. That's the theme as you go through all of this stuff. Imagine trying to do this when you're sitting there and you don't have full function versus, say, a person that I don't know, said that no one will ever believe you if you come out and say otherwise. Now, taking all of that in mind, again, read this thing over and think about the possibility of what transpired. Whitney testified about a violent incident in 2015. Whitney said she had to go live with her employer where she had to sleep on her floor. I am that employer. This is not what I was told to be true. Whitney came to live in the guest room, not on my floor. Whitney's told me she tried to stop A.H. from attacking Johnny. Whitney said she tried to intervene. A.H. nearly pushed Whitney down the stairs. She told me she was worried A.H. was going to kill Johnny. Makes those photographs and makes that story seem a little bit more disconcerting, doesn't it? But anyway, we may find out about this case within a month. It may take longer. There may be 200 pages to it. But when you get down to it, there's little things like this stuck in there. I'm going to keep looking at this stuff. I'll keep talking about it because, at the end of the day, this thing, it's not just about justice in the courtroom. It's about justice, period. And part of justice is exposing untruth. But anyway, you tell me what you think about this. So to close, we could use your help getting word out about our second comic book. A link is in the description. And while we're working on it, it's in demand, meaning you can still pick it up. So we cover what we cover. And even though we make great products, we have places out there that say, yeah, about that, you're canceled. Well, you know what? They can't cancel us because people like you are out there. So check that out and thank you in advance. Also, thank you for showing up. Thank you for participating. You make these endeavors possible. Without you, none of these channels work. So I want to say thank you. I do appreciate you. Not enough people say that. And until next time, we'll see you soon.